States, where Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell warned in his Jackson Hole speech on Friday that the U.S. economy is in a fragile balance with slowing growth, tariff-driven price pressures and rising risks to the labor market. Powell described the jobs market as in a curious kind of balance with labor supply softening in line with speaker demand. He said tighter immigration has sharply slowed labor force growth, and while job gains have eased, the FED wants to avoid creating excess slack. Inflation remains a concern, with July data showing overall PCE at 2.6% and core at 2.9%. Powell noted tariffs are clearly lifting consumer prices, and while the effects could accumulate, his baseline is they will be short-lived. He added the GDP growth has slowed notably as consumer spending cools, leaving the FED's dual mandate, stable prices and maximum employment increasingly in tension. The speech comes weeks after President Donald Trump threatened to remove Powell as FED chair, accusing him of holding back growth. We're now joined by Mark Sutherland, who is a geopolitical commentator, and he joins us live from London. Mark, thank you very much for joining us. Mark, do you think that Donald Trump will be pleased to hear what he heard today from the FED chair?
Thomas, good to see you. It's very interesting. It was a very interesting speech. I'm also reflecting on the one that he made in 2019 when the economy of America, you could say, was well into, running like a steam train, and then we went into the COVID era. The other thing is that where things completely were destroyed and slowed down, mum and pop shops all over the place taken off the market and obliterated. But the other thing is we're looking at two different personalities. You have a personality, in my opinion, with Trump. It is about taking risk. He passionately believes in America. He wants to get back to the economic boom that was happening in his first administration. And he also has a personality that says, I want to have hold of all the economic levers of power. And if I'm asking you to do something which is hurry up and get interest rates down, then I really want you to get on with this. And to be fair to Powell, in this speech, he's also alluded to the fact that in September he will look at this. The thing is, Trump, in many ways, you could argue the reason why he's got where he is in life is because he takes risks. He sees the Federal Reserve as risky. But as we all know, with our basic understanding of economics, if you completely throw out the monetary supply, you have far too much money out there, like for argument's sake, during the COVID period over here within the UK, then it's not surprising that inflation then goes up. I think it's going to be a mixed message that the president will be hearing, in my opinion. Thomas.
Yes, and Powell described the jobs market as in a curious kind of balance, with labour supply softening in line with weaker demand. What does this mean?
Well, remember, there is the tariff wars that are going on, and also, as Trump promised when he came in, he will be dealing with the issue of illegal immigration. That is important to him. As in, if you then take California, you then take other areas like that, you then, but not that they're going to admit it, will be relying on certain groups of people. They would be there illegally as cheap labor to then get the fruit, for argument's sake. Remember, California's GDP until recently, it could have sat at the G7 in its own right. So very, very close to the Mexican border as well. There are companies that would have benefited in the past in regard to illegal immigration. So this is all in the mix, Thomas. Plus, the president is trying to get industry and companies back into America, like you and I have previously discussed when we looked at pharmaceutical companies from Switzerland and other companies to actually open up factories within America. That is happening. That is what Trump wants as well. It's one of the concerns, the reason why I believe, in my own humble opinion, that Jerome is describing this like this is because if it succeeds, there is a change in the economic view because Trump has really pushed forward with these tariffs. And as I said, wants the companies to then set up factories in America, and at the same time is stopping illegal immigration that in the past even Obama made a comment on. Thomas.
Mark Sutherland, thank you very